Good morning, everybody. Hello, welcome to another episode of Media Boss Live. I am Dr. Barrett Matthews. I'm elated to have you here, guys. It's going to be another good one today. I'm excited for you guys to be here, and I'm hoping you guys are sharing it. I'm loving the comments. I appreciate the compliments. I appreciate the shares. I love the questions. I love the reactions you're giving to us. So please keep it up and make sure you go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please, we want to get that up. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. I think next week we'll probably start doing is putting the links in here to make it easier for you. As far as YouTube is concerned, I appreciate you on Facebook. I appreciate you on LinkedIn as well. So thank you so much for that. And some of you are here for the first time watching me, and you're like, "What is this? Who is this guy? What are we talking about?" Okay, so this is Media Boss Live. I am Barrett Matthews. My firm is Media Boss Pro, and what I'm doing is I am turning high achieving leaders into industry icons by leveraging media to just blow up their media presence. And that's what we want to do. Now, for those of you who may not be at that level yet, that's fine. We still want to educate you and help you with your media and make sure that you are able to be seen and heard everywhere all at once. So that's what we do with Media Boss Pro. Now, what I'm doing with Media Boss Live is making it more accessible to people so they can learn some things for themselves and do some things for themselves. So what we're doing right now is 5 days of media strategies that you can act on right now. So 5 days of media strategies that you can act on right now. That's what we're doing. We want to make sure that you all are learning some things that can help you. And some of you may know some of these things, some of you may not, but I just want to make sure that you guys are learning as much as possible that can help you and hopefully put you in another place when it comes to your business and the media presence. One thing I have learned over the years, and just for those who don't know, I've been in media for quite some time. I started in the 80s, so I'll let you know a little bit about that in the mid 80s. So the one thing I've learned over the years is that media has evolved and it's much more accessible now. For instance, you can shoot a film using one of these. So now it's just become more accessible to where you don't have to necessarily wait on someone else to find you interesting, so to speak. You can say, I'm interesting myself and I'm going to make people know me. And you can do that now. It's a big difference in how media has changed. But one thing I do know is that everybody around the earth consumes information through one media platform or another. It could be a radio, it could be social media, it could be a podcast, it could be newspapers, it could be magazines, film, it could be one form of media or another. What I am teaching people to do is to make sure you have a media presence on various platforms. Why? Because we don't want people to miss you, right? We don't want people to not know who you are. We want everyone to know that you're there because they see you in all places. We want them to get sick of seeing you. I know that sounds crazy to some of you, but if they're sick of seeing you, that means you're doing it right because that means you're in their head. You're taking up real estate in their head, and good for you. Congratulations if you're doing that. So, as I mentioned, Media Boss Live, what we're doing here is we're doing a live stream. It's not going to be not going to be long at all, just a few minutes. But we're going to share with you some things that can help you with the media as it pertains to your business. So this week, we've been on a theme of talking about podcasts. We may continue next week. We may go further. But we want to delve into a lot of areas of media. And before I forget, I want to mention on the 23rd of September, we will be doing a Media Boss Masterclass. For those of you who want to register, we'll have the registration information sometime next week. So I want to make sure you guys can get that as well. So I want to have you guys on the Media Boss Masterclass so you can learn more about all areas of media. We're going to cover it in a half a day. So it's going to be a lot to cover in a half a day. Now, today, what we're going to talk about is a question that I seem to get all the time. I mean, it's funny because I do podcast production as well as other media production for people, but podcasting it seems to be the one that most people are interested in. And I get people; they always start with the same thing when it comes to the podcast. Can you guess what that thing is? You probably can guess it, right? They want to know, Barrett, I need some help, man, because I want to get a podcast going, but I need to know how I can make money with it. Is that what you were thinking? Is that what you were thinking? That's what most people say. They want to know how they can make money with their podcast. Well, first of all, let me explain something to you. A goal of making money with your podcast is great, but don't make that the only reason to do your podcast. I repeat, don't make that the only reason to do your podcast, because what will happen is it will become work to you. And when it becomes work to you, you will stop it because you don't want to do it. Your podcast should be enjoyable for you as well as the audience. So make sure that you're having fun with it. Now, can you make money with your podcast? Yes, you can. Can you make a lot of money with your podcast? Yes, you can. How much money do most people make with their podcast? Nothing. What? Yeah. Most people don't make money with their podcast. Most people do not make money with their podcast. You heard me. Okay. So I know that might have stepped on some people's toes there, might have hurt them a little bit, but I'm just being honest with you. Most people do not make money with their podcast. And I'll be honest with you, it's funny because I've seen this happen. There are people who have this delusion that if I start a podcast and I have a business, well, money's going to come to me. No, it doesn't work like that. And what's funny is that they'll quit. And they don't just quit like after a year of doing it. They quit after a month of doing it. Yeah. They will do a weekly episode, 4 episodes, and quit because they haven't made any money. And they just say, I don't understand why this is not working for me. Like, what else have you done outside of a job where you got paid like in your first month for talking? I mean, really. So come on, let's be realistic about these things. Yes, you can make money, but it does require you to do some things. So I'm going to cover a few things that you can do when it comes to making money with your podcast, how you can do so. And I'm going to add in one or two things of my own. Okay. So one thing you can do is get sponsorships and advertisements. You can partner with brands that are, I should say, relevant to your audience. And these sponsors, they pay to have their products or services mentioned or advertised during your podcast. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, most of these sponsors, most of these people who are going to be advertising with you, they want you to have a large following, a lot of downloads. Because to them, and you heard me talk about this in some of the previous ones. We'll talk about video versus audio, so I'm not going to get into too deep into that today. But to them, if you have a lot of downloads, a lot of audio downloads on your podcast, that means they have a better chance of making money. Now, is that true? Probably so. Probably so. But does that mean that they can't make money if you don't have a lot of them? No, it doesn't. Not at all. Not at all. So I just want you to know that's something that they look for. But doesn't mean you should stop going after them, even if you have none. Go after them. You may find someone who says, I believe in you, and I'm going to sponsor you. So go get it. Please, go get those people because they're out there. And they're people who they have sponsorship money that they have to use. Well, why not use it on you? And let me explain that real quick. There are companies out there, they have a sponsorship budget. Every so often, every month, every year, every half a year, whatever, they get a sponsorship budget. They have to spend that budget money. If they don't spend it all, guess what? The budget goes down. If the budget's going down, they're going to figure that that person isn't doing a good job and they will replace them. So that person wants to keep their job, so they need to find places where they can put the company's money. Why not with you? That's all I'm saying. Okay, so that's one thing you can do. Another thing, affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing, yeah, through your podcast. So you can promote products or services and get a commission. Yeah, you can get a commission from it for any sales that are generated through, you have a specific link that you can put on your podcast. Like I could have one rolling across the screen right now, a specific link of someone who is an affiliate. I'm an affiliate for. And it works out good if the products, once again, are of interest to your audience. So that's another way you can do it. Now, like I said, I told you I was going to throw in a couple of other things too. So you can have guests on your show, on your podcast, who give you an affiliate link. And guess what else? You can have an affiliate link for them as well for your stuff. So you can make money and go vice versa with that. You can make money with it either way. So another thing you can do, this I've seen a lot of podcasters do this, is what we call premium content. So you can do like exclusive episodes. So let's say that I interviewed someone really famous or someone really important that people want to hear from on my podcast. And let's say afterwards, I did a private session with them that we didn't put out there. I could tell people, hey, you can get access to my private session if you pay this amount. You can get this. And there are people that do that all the time. They can offer exclusive episodes, or exclusive interviews, or bonus interviews, or bonus content. It just may be, you may be teaching something that you don't put out there for free. And they can buy it just by listening to you. And they can pay it on a subscription basis. If you have them going on week to week, you can have a subscription for them. And there's a platform, Pantheon. Pantheon makes it easier for you to do the subscription things like that, but you can offer those things for people as well. Now, I'm not Pantheon, not Pantheon, Patreon. I said Pantheon. Patreon allows you to do that. Pantheon is another company I've done great work with. I love Pantheon. Hey, Josh. But Patreon, they make it easier for you to do those things. Now, another way you can do it is through merchandising. You can sell merchandise. You can brand yourself. You can that's right, you can brand yourself. So you can get shirts made, hats made, t-shirts made, mugs made, ink pens, all types of things with your podcast name on them. And you can do that, and you can actually have that go out to the public. They can buy your merchandise. You can have it on a website. They can buy it there. You can have different giveaways and so forth and so on, but get people interested in what you're doing by just putting it out there for your community to consume. And if they love you, they'll love what you're putting out there. Another way you can do it is through crowdfunding, donations. Patreon is really famous for this, and there's another one like Ko-fi, I believe that does that, where you can just put out something where people can feel like they're a part of what you're putting together, and they will donate money, and you can give them a gift. You don't have to give them profit or anything, but you can give them a gift. You can give them one of those mugs or those pens or something. You can give different levels, different tiers, depending on how much they donate. And it's a great strategy. A lot of people do that to promote and build their monetization tool when it comes to their podcast. So you can do that as well. Now, once again, I told you I was going to add in a couple more for you. When it comes to sponsorship, one thing that you can do is go to local businesses or go to the people you know who own businesses and tell them, look, I'm starting a podcast. I'd love to have you come on and be one of my sponsors, like for the first few months or the first year, whatever. And I'll even interview you, put you on there. And you can get whatever rates you want to do, you can have them put together a rate sheet for all of them. But I tell you, don't make it one episode. Make it a series of episodes, a season, if you will. So that way you can have a longer term for them, and it makes it more worth their while to put up the money to pay you because they know they're going to get more than just one episode of it, okay? Now, another thing that you can do is have what we call partnership. Now, partnership is different than a sponsorship, and you need to make that clear to the person you're talking to. It's different from an affiliate program as well, and different from a referral program. So what a partnership is basically letting them know that you're going to be their salesperson, so to speak. You're going to be working for them. Now, you're saying, well, hold up, Barrett, I don't want to do that. Well, hear me out. Hear me out. So what you're doing is you're telling them, I am going to be promoting your brand as much as I'm promoting my brand. So when my emails go out to my list, your name and brand goes on there. When I do an event, your banner is going to go up. When I put something on social media, I'm putting you up there too. Because my job is to get you clients. I want to work to get you clients, and you're going to pay me to have that done. So you're going to do it anyway, guys. So why not just add them to it? But you can actually get more money from people when you do that because you're basically becoming a salesperson for them. So that's another way that you can go about making money with your podcast. Now, another one that I didn't mention, I know we've mentioned merchandise like t shirts and so forth, but if you have products, if you have a service, sell it on your podcast. I have people ask me so many times, well, is it okay if I sell my stuff on my podcast? And I always say, you better. Who else is going to sell your stuff? It's your show. So, yes, sell your items on your podcast. Don't do it every time. Don't pitch, 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 pitch. Give them some content, give them some information, make them want to listen to you. But of course, let them know that you have something to offer them. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a disservice to them if you give them all this, get them interested. They actually tuned in and listened to you, and you don't offer them a way to keep learning from you. So if you have something to sell them, sell it. Those that want to buy it will buy it. But don't leave them wishing that they had more and not having an option to get it. So please make sure you do that. So those are just some of the ways that you can monetize. I'm sure there's some other ways out there that you can monetize your podcast. But like I said, don't do your podcast just to make money. Make money with your podcast, of course, but don't do it just to make money because you will get tired of that really quick if you're not making the money you want. Okay? So with that being said, guys, I'm looking forward to the next one. And don't forget, we have a masterclass coming up on the 23rd. We're going to have the registration info coming to you guys next week. I look forward to having you guys on next week as well. Make sure you're sharing this on LinkedIn. Make sure you're sharing this on Facebook. Make sure you're subscribing and sharing our YouTube channel as well. We want to get the YouTube up. We really appreciate you guys. Please leave comments, leave questions when you're watching this. So we want to keep up with you guys. I promise you, if you leave me a comment or a question, I will return it. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you I don't know the answer. But I will return it. I promise you that much. So thank you so much for joining me. And as I always say before we sign off, remember, guys, you are someone special because you are God's vessel. Everyone, have a great day.